I am in Glasgow right now. I arrived yesterday, and to be honest, like, my arrival wasn't as planned. Especially like waiting for the bus. Like, my arrival was just fine, but waiting for the bus, I was already thinking that my bus will not come. I was already panicking because according to the schedule, it was supposed to be on time, but it didn't arrive at the place that it was like designed to arrive, and like suddenly it disappeared from the schedule. That was on the bus station, and I was thinking, oh my god, probably it went to some other place, I don't know, and already left without me. So I was already panicking, and I was like, oh my god, I'm not going to arrive to Glasgow, and I already paid for my hostel, I already paid for my bus ticket, and my bus is not there. So I was having a lot of stress, but later other people, they said, oh, we're also waiting for the same bus. So I started being like less scared, because I was like, okay, at least I'm not alone. So probably this bus didn't come and go without me somehow. And after some time the bus came, and I went to Glasgow as planned, like just a bit later. And when I arrived to Glasgow, I was a bit pissed off because it started raining again. And how many times can it start and stop raining in one day? I mean, I live in the Netherlands, so I know it's the same thing. But it's very annoying when you travel and you have this weather, because when you don't travel, then you can hide at home. And when you travel, you are like outside most of the time. And if it rains all day, you cannot like hide for all day just because it's raining and waste whole day. So it's very annoying. And I hate walking in rain. It's something I absolutely despise. So I was a bit pissed off, and also I figured out that I have to pay for a bathroom, and I really wanted to go to the bathroom, and I didn't have like fatty pants. So I was like, damn. So I went straight to my hostel, and fortunately there was a bathroom in my hostel, and I found my hostel pretty quickly, but still it was quite annoying. I'm very close to the central station. My hostel was very close to the river. But I was walking, and I forgot to even film when I was walking. I forgot that I'm even filming today. I didn't think about this, so I went close to a lot of nice things without even filming. But I will be probably going back. This city is completely different. It has more of a big city vibe. To be honest, I'm a bit like positively surprised. Because like Edinburgh for me was a bit depressing. I don't know why. Maybe because it was like small city vibe. I don't know. But this one like is less depressing than I expected. I like big cities. I like tall buildings. So and I didn't really expect a big city vibe, because I know that like Scotland doesn't have that big cities. The same with Ireland, which is like which is kind of sad for me, because I could live in Ireland because I like Irish people. I like a lot of things about Ireland, but the thing that I don't like is that Ireland doesn't have big cities, and Ireland almost doesn't have people. It's quite not very populated, and I don't like places that do not have a lot of people. I find them extremely depressing. So most likely I couldn't live in Ireland because I would be depressed all the time. For me, even Netherlands is like not populated enough. It doesn't have very big cities. I mean, Amsterdam is technically a big city, but it's not like it doesn't have any like very big cities. Like the biggest ones are still under 1 million. So like, yeah. And I like big cities. Like somehow I got used to Netherlands, but for me Ireland would be a downgrade, because I would have like way smaller cities and less people, and it would be very depressing for me, even though I really like Irish people. So yeah. So yeah, I'm going back to the streets that I already visited, but I wasn't filming. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right, but this is Buchanan Street. I don't know how should I pronounce it. This is like one of the main streets of Glasgow. By the way, I'm so sorry for my hand being so shaky. I just recently realized that my hand is shaking way too much when I film. But I naturally have problems with making my hands stable. They always shake. It's a problem they always have. So especially when I walk and I have some things that I'm carrying, which is like impossible not to have. I mean, I would have to pay for some lockers, but I don't have that many of things, so still. And even when I have nothing in my hands are always shaking. Maybe I should buy something that stabilizes the camera. I don't know. Like, I will probably have to do something about this, because it's very annoying to watch when my hand is somehow constantly shaking. I mean, it's not shaking that much, but when I watch the videos, I can see that. This building is very nice, by the way, and it has those golden things above the entrance. It's called Arcade. It's inside there are some definitely very expensive shops that I'm not going to visit because they are too expensive for me. In general, there are a lot of expensive shops that I don't even plan to enter because I would feel very awkward. Like, I always feel like in such expensive places that, oh, this is not a place that I'm supposed to be. I'm always afraid that somebody will tell me to go out because, you know, you're poor, you don't have money for that. I always feel very unwelcome in such places. So I'm kind of always afraid of them a bit. Like, I always just avoid them. Like, in cheap places, I never have that. And in those places, in those neighborhoods that people will tell you not to go to, I never have that. But in those expensive shops, I do. This is like a peacock. Wow, it's like very impressive. By the way, that's very nice that I had to go back to this street because I didn't notice the peacock, for example. I will take a picture of a peacock also because it's very nice. Sorry, I had to. Hi, Bella. I just had to show a Palestinian girl. Sorry, but I will always be doing that, you know. You have to be proud. This is the place that I was walking through. It's kind of like a temporary theme park or something like this. That you have, you know, this roller coasters and stuff like this. I love this, by the way. When I was a child, I would always, when there was something like this around my area, I would always go, you know. And that were the best days of my childhood, the best memories. So even right now, when I look at this. First of all, I'm not a child anymore. Second of all, even if some of the attractions are for adults, I have a very tight budget, so I wouldn't be able to go. At least not right now, because I didn't, you know, include this in my budget. I didn't plan to spend money on it, and I have to spend money on all the things that I plan to spend money on. That's why I was so anxious about my bus ticket yesterday. So I'm not going to go. But still, it's nice to look, you know, it's nice to look at people who are happy. Not me today, but but yeah, I'm happy for them. Yeah, there's a very nice, like a building, like in the middle, which is a Green Cafe Nero, which is a cafe. But the building is really nice. And I like the idea of making this building, like, in the middle of a street. I think it already was there because Green Cafe Nero is not an old thing and this building looks old, so probably they just, you know, put this writing on top of it. So yeah, the attractions, they were definitely for children. So I don't have to be sad that I didn't include this in my budget. And by the way, this is something that I could buy without including this in my budget because it costed, like, I think 60 pence. And I bought it in Tesco and it's so delicious. It tastes like lychee and I love lychee. And it actually does taste like lychee. I can definitely feel the flavor of lychee. I mean, probably it's not real lychee, just lychee flavor. But I can still feel how the flavor is very similar to lychee, at least for me. Yeah. So I'm by the river right now, as you can see by the bridges. There's a bridge, you know, this bridge which is like very San Francisco like. This type of bridges is like in many cities, but still most of people does remind of San Francisco. This is a place where my hotel was. I think my hostel was over there in front of me, and actually I have no complaints about my hostel. It was very nice. you know, I expected hostel conditions, so I don't have very high expectations. I hardly ever have problems about hostels. In my last hostel, for example, the only thing I could say a bad thing about was that, for example, my charger was like the socket was far away from my bed, and I like having a socket close to my bed. This is not a big problem because you always, you know, there's a socket, so that's still not a problem. But like here, even the socket was like right next to my bed, so that was perfect. I didn't notice the socket first, but people in my hostel, in my room, they were very nice. One lady in my room, she showed me the socket. And like in my previous hostel, I also had very nice people in my room. And to be honest, like yeah, the disadvantage of hostels where you have like a lot of people in your room is that you have a lot of people in your room, but the advantage is that you have a lot of people in your room. Like it's a disadvantage and an advantage at the same time, because sometimes you want privacy, but also you meet a lot of people that are very nice. So it's like you know, it's both an advantage and a disadvantage. So, and I noticed already, I think Glasgow is cheaper than Edinburgh, at least slightly cheaper. And also another thing, maybe you can see in front of me, there's like a mural, and like Glasgow is also very famous for street art. So I will definitely see some murals. Actually, that's why I went to the riverside, because I have already seen some murals there when I was walking and not filming. As you can see, there's a mural in front of me. I mean, there's also graffiti, which I don't think is the ones that Glasgow is so famous for, but there's one definitely. In front of me, there's a cathedral of St. Andrew. As you see, it's a very nice cathedral. I think it's neo-romantic, neo-gothic. Yeah, I'm confused those things, because I know that during like times of romanticism, people liked to erect like buildings that were neo-gothic. I think this is neo-gothic. At least that's what I think. So this is the cathedral from afar. Yeah, like a lot of cathedrals here, like in this area, they are in this style, which is, to be honest, I like I like this style, and I think that they are very nice, and it's kind of, you know, nice to be around those buildings. Like you can feel like you are in some other world. I don't know how to say that, you know what I mean? Like for example, in Edinburgh, there's a lot of buildings like this, and kind of gives them like the city, the Harry Potter vibe, something like this. I am not a big fan of Harry Potter, but I like the vibe. So what I was expecting to be some kind of artistic installation in front of me is actually a pizza place. I hope that you can hear me, because there's a lot of buses going. So anyway, it's a pizza place, not some artistic installation. And in the other side of the bridge, there's a mosque. I think maybe so I went to this place because I really like this tower. I don't know exactly what kind of this tower is. Is it like a church tower? Maybe it's some kind of, I don't know, public utility tower. Maybe it's some watchtower. I have no idea. But I like the tower. Maybe it's City Hall tower. I don't know. It definitely has a clock. So could be. I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no. So yeah, I walked a bit, and right now I'm in a place that looks like this. So I wanted to share this because I think it looks lovely. Yeah, I walked a bit close to the river. This is like, you know, something that the train is like passing on, and the plants, they grow here, and those colors, they are very lovely.